actually, let's talk about being at Cannes. And this film was originally supposed to come out earlier, but yet they held back because of this. They wanted the Cannes experience. So to be able to bring it to Cannes, what do you feel the expectations are, and also, what is it like to kind of come to a festival like this for you?
Um, we were nervous, people boo in Cannes. We were really nervous and throw stuff. So I was very nervous. It was also really my first film since An Education. And so I mean, it's not my, I'm very much a supporting character, and so I always knew that really, if anyone was going to get the blame, it was going to be Oliver. But he seems to have survived it, and we've had such a good time. It's so beautiful here, and it's the best group of people to be with.
To be in a film, actually, you say you're supporting, but I do feel that you do carry a bit of the heart and soul of this film, and
Thank
so
you.
so to bring this kind of emotional level to a film where I think people were expecting much more of a commentary about Wall Street and things like that. What kind of difficulties did you as an actress have to kind of bring to the table to make sure that it wasn't lost in all this money?
Yeah, well, I think Oliver and Michael were really brilliant with helping with that. I think Oliver never wanted her to be just the accessory to the plot, like, oh, there has to be a girl in there, so, and I was nervous of that. I wanted her to have a valid reason for being there. And I think that's what she does. She sort of demonstrates how much Gecko lost by the way he lived his life. And you can't live like that. If his priorities were so blurred by money and power and being on the cover of Fortune magazine. So Oliver felt it was really important that she was, as much as there are so many emotional scenes, that she has a strength and she has a rounded character, and I think he wrote that brilliantly.
To be in an environment, because I'm based in New York also, and I see the Wall Street type people. What kind of experience did you have while you were kind of maybe doing research? Did you see the kind of excess and the kind of almost blindness to the real world, where like money really does kind of make people into these Wall Street?
I mean, I didn't spend nearly as much time around a lot of the Wall Street guys as the other members of the cast. I mean, actually, the Wall Street guys that I met Tommy Belisis, who's in the movie, who's the guy at the beginning, who's Shia's sort of nemesis at work. And he's the sweetest, nicest, best guy, and he's incredibly successful, but he's a really, really good guy. It's not a case of them all being villains, and there's good and bad in every job. But yeah, people are decadent, or were, or maybe still are, but the boys had a lot more contact with the Wall Street guys. I spent a lot of time with Laura Dawn, who runs Move On, and she's actually in one of the scenes, just as in the background. And Laura, has been running Move On for like 3 or 4 years. It has 4.5 million members. She was sort of integral to the Obama election. It was like, she's crazily inspirational. So I actually spent more time with her than with that side. I kind of stayed away.
Escaped.
Yeah.
What was New York like for you then? What was your kind of experience like shooting there and kind of soaking up the environment?
I love New York. And I've worked there sort of 2 6-month increments of time before. I did a play on Broadway, and then I did another film there. And I love it so much. I'm so happy when you just walk and be free. And but I loved the fact that we did everything on location. But in New York, everywhere you go, like crowds and crowds of people observe, and that's the first time I've had to film anything where it's not just the one camera you're worried about. For the one that you're acting for, you have 27 other one and millions of people with camera phones. The focus is, when you're doing scenes in the streets, you have to be a lot more focused on what you're doing. Otherwise, you can get so distracted by all of that.
Now that the whole like season of awards and all that is done, was it nice to kind of, now in retrospect, can you kind of look at it and just be like, well, that was interesting, or was it by the end you're kind of like, all right, ready to go back to work again?
It's kind of a mixture of both. It was interesting, and I met some amazing people, and I was so lucky to have been in that group of people. But it is, I woke up the day afterwards and I was like, okay, that's done. And I don't feel like it was overwhelming or that it was, but I was, I'm excited to work again. And because that stuff isn't, it's a sort of added thing to what your real job is.
You have some really great scenes with Shia, so I just wanted to know what it was like to kind of work with him, and also, was there a lot of rehearsal? Do you feel like you guys have this natural kind of, way to kind of play off each other, or?
I think he's amazing to work with. He's a brilliant actor, and ever since I saw A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, I was like, that guy, he's so brilliant in that. We rehearsed, all of us, around the table for like 3 weeks, and we played with the script, and Oliver made us improvise scenes, and I think Shia enjoys ad-libbing and improvising, and I do too, and Oliver kind of encouraged us. So I think some of the reason those scenes feel natural and is because we're sort of not improvising on the spot, but we found a way of just sort of we ad-libbed a bit, and it felt kind of, and we'd rehearsed it to the point where we knew the dialogue so well that it wasn't like, we felt prepared enough for those scenes. And I shot for 15 days, so if I didn't know my shit, if I didn't know my stuff, I would have been in trouble.